say that my ideal date is April 25th. Folks, please do not reach out and touch anything that is outside that boat. You guys look in front of us, you see the statue of the cowboy here? We got some children who are standing up on the boat, folks. If you could please help me out and make sure that you and your children remain firmly seated during the entire tour. That would be a good thing. Now that's the statue of a cowboy herding longhorn cattle. Longhorn cattle are very dear to the state of Texas. They were bred by the cowboys because they could make the long trek north for the cattle drives that Texas was so famous for. That statue is in front of the Briscoe Western Art Museum, made in 2013 and named after the late Texas governor and his wife, Janie. From 1930 to 1968, that was the San Antonio Public Library. And from 68 to 2001, that was a circus museum. This bridge in front of us is one of only 10 iron bridges made like it in the whole wide world. All 10 of these iron bridges were made all the way off in Berlin. That's Berlin, Connecticut. Now this is the lowest bridge we're going to go underneath, so like all bridges, make sure you keep your hands down. I'm going to try to position the boat so we go through the middle of the steel rafters here. We had a professional basketball team go underneath this low-hanging bridge once, and we asked them all to lay down. Take a look at this small heart-shaped island on the right-hand side. That's Marriage Island. It has a 250-year-old history, and every year there are approximately 300 marriage ceremonies performed on Marriage Island. This area of the Riverwalk is called Old Mill Crossing. It's a favorite place for the settlers to cross the river during the 1800s because it was very shallow and had a limestone bottom. Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders liked to cross the river here. Pancho Villa, the Mexican revolutionary, liked to cross the river here. If you guys look to the right-hand side, you'll see a beautiful luxury hotel called the West End Inn. This was made in 1988, and inside you will find the authentic furnishings of a 17th century English castle. When the settlers would come to San Antonio, they would come from all over the country, all over the world, by horseback, carriage, wagon, by foot, any way they could get here. When they arrived at this location, families would meet each other for the first time, and lifelong friendships and strong family bonds would be formed at this exact spot. The settlers loved this area so much, they wanted all of us to promise to never forget about it. And that's why this area, Old Mill Crossing, is commemorated by a tile mural called Old Mill Crossing. Everyone, if you look straight ahead, you will see the oldest courthouse in Texas, the Bexar County Courthouse, made in 1897. Now everyone look on the left-hand side. That building is the Tower Life building. It was made in 1929, and it was purchased for $3 million by the Smith brothers. Now everyone look all the way up to the top. If you have sharp eyes, you might be able to see statues sticking out at right angles. Can anyone see those statues? Those are called gargoyles. Now unofficially, the Smith brothers were very superstitious. So they added those gargoyle statues in 1929 to chase away evil spirits and bad luck. But those of you who know your history, you'll recognize 1929 as the year the stock market crashed. So the Smith brothers had to purchase that building for $3 million, but they could only sell it for $300,000. On the right-hand side, you will see the International Building. The trade offices for the United States, Mexico, and Canada are there. And also, you'll notice that if you look to the right, I can actually drive a boat inside that building. That's because that's one of the 2 boat docking marinas that we have on the Riverwalk. Now everyone, I do have to stop the boat here, and then I have to honk the horn, because this is a mandatory stop. So you guys might want to protect your ears when I honk the horn. Here we go, everybody. Now I have to stop the boat here. This is one of our mandatory stops. We have mandatory stops on the river for different reasons. This particular mandatory stop is a blind intersection. So we all have to stop the boat here so that just in case the boat's coming from the left or to the right, they'll know that we're on our way. Now as we turn to the right, you guys look at this bridge that we're about to go underneath. Do we have any romanticos on the boat today? This is the Dolorosa Street Bridge, everyone. Look at the top. Can you guys see those shiny metal things at the top of the bridge? Those shiny metal things are padlocks, everybody. The locals call this Love Lock Bridge because tourists come all the way here to San Antonio. They propose on Marriage Island. They get married on Marriage Island. And then they bring a padlock and they lock it onto that bridge. And then they take the keys to the padlocks and they throw them in the river. Now they say, anyone who comes all the way here to San Antonio to do that with their sweetheart, your love will last forever. Everyone look on the right-hand side and you'll see the Drury Plaza, made in 2007. In 1929, that building on the right was the first alcohol national bank. And the original bank vault is still inside. Everyone, please look to my left. In the distance, you'll see the oldest church in Texas. That white brick building in the distance is the San Fernando Cathedral. It was made all the way back in 1731 by 16 families from the Canary Islands. They were invited here by King Philip V of Spain. That was back when Texas was under Spanish control. And the San Fernando Cathedral is also the resting place for the ashes of the defenders of the Alamo. Directly in front of us, this is the oldest and the tallest cypress tree on the Riverwalk. It was made famous because in 1853, Colonel Ben Milo came to San Antonio to lead the Texas militia in a raid, and he successfully rallied the Texans against the city. But during the battle, he was shot by a Mexican sniper perched in that tree. That's why they call it the Ben Milo tree or the sniper tree. Now everyone, this is floodgate number 3 in front of me. If I could please get your attention, folks, this is going to be a little bit tricky for us to go through here, okay? So I need all of you to be ready because we might bump on the left or the right. We got bumpers all around the boat here, giant rubber bumpers. These boats are made for bumping into things. Now when we bump, as long as you're mentally aware and ready, everything's going to be fine. This is floodgate number 3. Sometimes there are water that gushes out, shoots out from underneath the floodgate. These 5 floodgates, can we get that child seated, please? Guys, there's a child standing up. If you guys could make sure that everyone remains seated, especially through floodgate number 3. As I was explaining, this is where we're most likely to bump everybody. And I want to make sure that all of you guys are safe. Some of the water is going to shoot out from the floodgate here, so we got to be extra careful. On the right-hand side, you guys take a look at the Esquire Tavern. That's the oldest bar on the Riverwalk. It was made in 1933, and it has the longest wooden bar top in the state of Texas. Over 100 feet of beer-soaked wood. During the Prohibition era, when it was illegal to serve alcohol in the entire United States, legend says that bar never shut down and never stopped serving alcohol. Instead, it masqueraded as a barbershop. Now, everyone, this is a really narrow passageway here, so please help me out. We might bump on left or right. Keep your hands and all your body parts inside the wooden rails, and make sure that you remain seated. Now notice there's an opening on the left-hand side of this bridge right here. So sometimes the wind will come through here and take us off course a little bit. But we're going to be okay. Now you guys see this boat in front of us? This boat is docking at the Aztec docking station. This is the second of the 3 boat docking stations that we have for everyone here under the wall. Now we call this the Aztec docking station because it's in front of the Aztec Theater on the right-hand side. That was made in 1926, and that's where people used to go and watch silent movies during the Roaring '20s. But silent movies weren't the only type of entertainment at the Aztec Theater. The famous comedian Charlie Chaplin, he used to love to entertain there. In fact, Charlie Chaplin, being the jokester that he was, he once entered a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. But he only won 3rd place, everybody. I guess there was 2 more people who looked more like he did than he did. Hey everyone, take a look at this beautiful bridge in front of us. This is the most famous bridge on the River Walk. Officially, this is called the Robert H. Husband Bridge, named after the father of the Riverwalk, whose flood design made everything you see here possible. But this bridge is not famous because of Robert Husband. This is the Selena Bridge, everybody. And it was featured in the movie Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez. Everyone look on the right-hand side, and you'll see the Mocara Hotel, a beautiful luxury hotel made in 2003. Way back in 1901, that was the L. Frank Saddlery Company, the largest saddle manufacturer in the entire world. Did you folks know that in the old days, cowboys, they used to tie lanterns to their saddles so they could see at night time? Well, now do. And when you think about it, I'll bet you that's the first entrance of satellite navigation. On the left-hand side, you will see the Omni La Mansion Del Rio Hotel. That building on the left exists because in 1853, there were 4 brothers from the Society of St. Mary's who came to San Antonio and made St. Mary's Academy. That was an all-boys school. It later became St. Mary's College of Law, and then Patrick Kennedy, a graduate of the Law College, purchased that building and turned it into La Posada Motor Home. It's the time for the largest schools there in history than necessary. Everyone, please prepare your eyeballs and your brains for an optical illusion, and please look up and to my left. People say this big building on my left looks like a big optical illusion because it looks like it's completely flat. Looks like the wind is going to blow it over, and it's going to fall down on top of us. But I promise it won't fall. That's the next hospital. It's been there since 1930, and it opened its doors as the first full-service medical center in the United States. Directly in front of us is the Hyatt Regency Hotel, made in 1981, 16 stories high. It's in front of the Alamo, and here in Texas, it's illegal for anything to cast a shadow on the Alamo. So this building could not be built until after it was subjected to shadow testing, and that's why it's only 16 stories high. Because if they would have built any higher, then a shadow might have fallen on the Alamo, and we're not going to let that happen here in Texas. Now everyone, this is another narrow passageway, and there's also some wind here, so you guys make sure that you're prepared just in case you bump on the left or right. Take a look at that giant concrete pillar on the right-hand side. You notice that there's a lot of concrete missing from it. That's because the birds keep hitting it when we pass by. The window off on Texas, and so it's a new pillar. So it's very important that you guys are ready whenever we're on the boat tour. You guys look on the right-hand side and you'll see the casino club building. But you won't be able to do any gambling at that casino club. Now that building on the right got its name Because in 1927, there were two German immigrant social clubs that merged together. One was called the Casino Association. The other was called the San Antonio Social Club. The author Alex Haley, who wrote the book Woods, stayed at that location. That's where he wrote at least part of his book. On top of that building is a flag of the country of Texas. Not everybody knows this, but Texas, we were a country before we were a state. Now there was a different country called the United States of America. Has anybody ever heard that country before? Raise your hand if you heard of that country, folks. All right, we got about 3 people on the boat who've heard of the United States of America. Trust me, folks, it is a real country, and you're in it right now. They approached us, the country of Texas, and they said, we want you to become one of our states. And we told them the only way that we will agree to that is if we are always allowed to fly our state flag at the same height level as the American flag. That stipulation was granted, and Texas to this day, we are the only state in the Union where we're allowed to fly our state flag at the same height level as the American flag. This area of the Riverwalk is called Restaurant Row. This is the most densely populated area of restaurants on the Riverwalk. Now sometimes people ask me, Captain Justice, what's the best restaurant on the Riverwalk? And I always say the answer is all of them, as long as you like Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is kind of a thing here in Texas, everybody. We get tourists from all over the world. I'm always a little surprised when they come all the way here to Texas. And then they ask me if I can recommend a good Chinese restaurant for them. Well, we do have Chinese restaurants in Texas, and they're all very good. Just like all of these restaurants are very good. Everyone looks straight ahead across the street. You'll see 2 towers. The tallest one, the Tower of America, made in 1968 for the hemisphere. And that red sculpture is the Porch of Friendship. It's a gift to the city from the country of Mexico to commemorate our friendship with each other. On the right-hand side, that building is called the Clifford Building, and there is a statue of Robert Husband in front of the Clifford Building. He's the designer of the Riverwalk. He put his officers on the Riverwalk level of the Clifford Building in 1941 to prove that his flood design system actually worked. But it wasn't until 5 years later, on October 4th, 1946, when the first restaurant opened up on the Riverwalk level. They said, all right, Robert Husband, we're going to put our faith in you and your flood design system. Everyone, if you look to my right, you'll notice that the same restaurant is still here today. Casa Rio, the restaurant on the right, that is the first and the oldest restaurant to open up on the Riverwalk level. Everyone looks straight ahead at this beautiful luxury hotel in front of us, the Hilton Palacio Del Rio Hotel, or Palace on the river, made in 1968 for the hemisphere. People tell me if you look at it from this angle, it looks kind of like Lego logs that are stacked on top of each other. That's because that building was made using a construction technique called modular construction, and all 496 of those rooms were made one at a time at a location about 8 miles away. Now each room was individually carpeted, fully furnished right down to the Gideon Bible, and then each room was brought here and set in place one at a time by cranes. Now the Hilton Palacio Del Rio Hotel is in the Guinness Book of World Records. That's the largest hotel made in the shortest amount of time. Only 8 months, 202 working days. This area of the Riverwalk is the only man-made section of the Riverwalk. It was made in 1968 to connect the natural portion of the San Antonio River to the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, which is straight ahead and on the right. The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center was made in 1968 At the time, it was the largest convention center in the world. It's named after the first Mexican-American in history to be elected to the House of Representatives. Henry B. Gonzalez served for several terms in the House of Representatives, and today his son, Henry B. Gonzalez Jr., served in the House of Representatives. We're very proud of both of them. You see these two hotels in front of us? The tallest one, the one on the left, the Marriott, that was made in 1988. Now this is a tight squeeze. You guys prepare yourselves. I'm going to get caught in the wake right here. That the raiders of that boat might push us to the right. We might bump on the right-hand side. Now the Marriott River Center Hotel, made in 1988, before that building could be set in place, they had quite a challenge because there was already a large vacant hotel at this same spot. That was the Fairmont Hotel, a historic monument that has been there since 1906. As one look to the right, we get a better view of the Tower of America. That observation tower on the right is modeled after the Space Needle in Seattle. But our tower is taller. As you know, we got to do everything bigger in Texas, right? It is over 750 feet tall, and there are 952 steps going to the top.
Legoland.
And every year we have a contest to see who can run to the top in the shortest amount of time. The record is 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And oh boy, I'm never gonna do that again. I'm just kidding. That record was set by 16-year-old local high school student Tommy Johnson from Roosevelt High School in 1981. This statue in front of us is called Stargazer. She's made out of 80 pieces of volcanic rock and one piece of marble. Excuse me. The marble is the star that she's gazing to. Sometimes people want to know, what is she gazing through the star at? What's she trying to figure out? Well, everyone, I'm from Minnesota. I think she's trying to figure out if the Vikings are ever going to win a Super Bowl. I'm just kidding, everyone. She's actually looking through the star at Faith Open Road. That's a reference to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. This is the River Center docking station. Now we call this the River Center docking station because it's in front of the River Center shopping mall. That's the second largest shopping mall in the great big city of San Antonio. Now this shopping mall was made in 1988. It features over 100 retail shops. There's a giant walking aquarium called Sea Life and a giant amusement park called the Legoland Amusement Park. But before you grown-ups get too excited about going to the Legoland Amusement Park, I should probably let you guys know. In order for anyone to participate in the festivities at the Legoland Amusement Park, all adults must be accompanied by a child. Now folks, there's going to be a boat that's going to come out of here. Now we're going to hang out right here as this boat comes through, okay? Now notice we have 5 different colored boats, and we have 5 different designs on our boats. The boat that you're in, this is our military boat. This is to commemorate our military heritage that we have here in San Antonio. Our entire 300 years of history, we've always had a military base. Today, the largest military base in San Antonio is Lackland Air Force Base. Alright, it looks like that boat is kind of hanging out there in the lagoon, so we're going to go ahead and there's a boat behind us. Now there's a lagoon here. This is, there's a lot of tight passageways here that we're going to have to go around, okay? So you guys make sure that you remain seated here. Keep all your body parts in the wooden rails. Now, this is notoriously famous as a place of very high winds. Matter of fact, you guys look on the right-hand side. You guys see those concrete flower pots on the right? Each one of those flower pots weigh about 500 pounds. Now notice that 2 of them are tilted over. That's because we hit them with our boats. Like I said, this is a place where the wind is going to catch us. And also, you'll notice on the left-hand side, there's actually water that can jut out from underneath there to take the boat off course. So I'm going to be really, really careful. And you guys make sure that you're also really careful. Make sure that they see to keep your body parts in the wooden nose. Now, sometimes people ask me, Captain Justice, are there fish in the river? The answer is yes, we do have fish in the river. In fact, we've got over 70 varieties of species inside this river. We even have the venomous water moccasin snake inside this river. So you probably don't want to do any swimming in the river while you're here. Now the next question I'm often asked is, Captain Justice, if there are fish in this river, can we go fishing in the river? The answer is yes, you can fish in this river. But you can't fish off the side of the boat. There's also no fishing allowed on the river walk. So there we have all of these businesses and all of these restaurants. There's no fishing allowed here. But if you guys take our shuttle boat, which goes 3 miles north to the Pearl District, sometimes you'll see people fishing off the east and west banks of the San Antonio River. Sometimes you'll see them hauling some really big fish. Now the Payaya Indians occupied this area of San Antonio for thousands of years. They have a word in their language to describe the waters here. That word is Yanaguana. Now Yanaguana, that's one of those words that does not translate perfectly into English. It sort of means area of peaceful. Please sit down on the boat. Please sit down on the boat. All right, folks, I do need everyone to remain seated at all times. I've said that about 5 times already, so if you could please help me out, I'd appreciate you, everybody. So Yanaguana means area of peaceful or restful waters. And it doesn't mean peaceful or restful in the same way that we use those words in English. It kind of means an otherworldly type of peace or rest. This is a police boat that's passing us on the left. Everyone acts natural. You guys look to the right-hand side. You see that 8.5-foot statue passing on the right? That is San Antonio de Padua. In English, we call them Saint Anthony. Now, Saint Anthony was born in Lisbon, Portugal, and that statue is actually a gift to the city from the country of Portugal for the Women's Fair in 1968. That statue came from Lisbon, Portugal. And here in San Antonio, there's a lot of people who take San Antonio de Padua very seriously. He's the Catholic patron saint of lost saints. So a lot of people sincerely believe if you ever lose anything dear to your heart, all you have to do is pray to St. Anthony and he'll help you find it. And I guess that's good for us here in Texas because every year we get about 4 million tourists to visit the Riverwalk. And they keep losing stuff in our river. Would anyone care to guess what the most common item tourists lose in our river is? Cell phone. Cell phone. Look up and to the right, folks. Can you see that scaffolding? That's very beautiful scaffolding, isn't it? I just thought I'd point that out to you guys.
Oh, scaffolding.
Now inside that beautiful scaffolding, there's a very beautiful church steeple that belongs to a beautiful church called St. Joseph Catholic Church that was made in 1868 by German immigrants. And that church is still active to this day. If you guys go to church there this Sunday, you might even hear the all-male choir sing in German to commemorate the heritage. In 1921, there was a major flood in the area, and the Army Corps of Engineers wanted to seal off the Riverwalk and be done with it. The San Antonio Conservation Society stepped in to save it, and in 1929, Robert Hudson, a graduate of the University of Texas, submitted the flood control plan that was approved by the city. But 1929 was the year the stock market crashed, so the city didn't have any funding available. It wasn't until 1941, when the federal program Works Project Administration built the Riverwalk at a cost of $430,000. Now we do have the ability to drain the Riverwalk, so we'll do that every year to clean it out. So you guys remember when I told you that tourists keep using cell phones in our beautiful river? Guess what? Last time we drained the Riverwalk and cleaned it out, we found 355 cell phones. But that's not all. We also found 75 electric scooters. And we found, let's see, $26,000 worth of jewelry. All right, folks, we're coming up on the end of our tour together. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Now, I can honestly say I definitely enjoyed being your boat captain. Now, if you did enjoy yourself, tipping your boat captain for a job well done is allowed, accepted, and sincerely appreciated. I'll put the tip jar on the console there. There's even a QR code that will give millennials who get yours. But most of them just pretend to scan the code and then they walk on off. Now, I do have to perform a difficult boat dock to maneuver. I'm going to need you guys to help me, please. I have to dock the boat, then I have to get out of the boat. The reason I have to get out is because I have to tie it down. Now, what I need from all of you, please, is to remain firmly seated until after I dock the boat. Get out of the boat, tie the boat down, and then get back on the boat to give you all the thumbs up. Can y'all please do that for me? Appreciate you guys. Now, if you got your pictures taken, there'll be a kind individual